The following is a lecture by Dwight A. Pryor, founder and president of the Center for Judaic-Christian Studies, a ministry renewing the Christian mind by restoring to the Church its lost Hebraic heritage. This material is copyrighted with all rights reserved. For more information about Dr. Pryor's ministry, please visit our website, jcstudies.com, or call us at 937-434-4550. Thank you and shalom.
As we continue, I'd like to conclude with chapter 2 and then open the floor for discussion. So let's resume where we left off at the last session, and that is at chapter 2, and picking it up at verse 17. In chapter 1, Paul is indicting the pagan society, indicating that it's under God's judgment against wrath, and God is handing pagans over to the very lust of their flesh. And the language that's used, handing over, is the language of deliberate judicial action. It's as if the judgment is, this is what you want, this is what you'll have. It's that kind of terrible logic that C.S. Lewis alludes to when he says, when you come before Jesus, the judge, and you haven't sought and done his will, then he will have to say to you, as you choose, not my will, but your will be done. But now in chapter 2, Paul is, on the other hand, turning his critique against some of his fellow Jewish believers, the church in Rome. Remember, this is a critique from within Judaism, not as someone standing outside criticizing, but someone from within. And in effect, in some ways, it's almost as if he's speaking to himself in his former state of zeal. The point is, he's not indicting any particular Jew, nor Jews as a whole. He's talking here, of course, in the same way when he talks about Gentiles, not about any particular Gentile, but he's talking about the condition that we're all prone to. And in this particular instance, he's talking about those who have an attitude of boasting, an attitude of some kind of special spiritual status because they are of the circumcision. These works of the law, the ergonamu, the Messiah Torah, this defines them in some way as the privileged people. And Paul is arguing here to show that all are in need of the righteousness of God revealed in Messiah Jesus. For all alike are under the dominion of Adam. Whether outside the Torah or under the Torah, sin is sin, and you will be judged. And what the Torah could not do, Paul's going to argue, namely deal with this issue of Adam, of the sinful nature, the power of sin in the world of evil, is dealt with decisively in the Torah incarnate, Yeshua, Israel's representative and mankind's representative. So all are under the judgment of sin. And Paul here is being very critical against some of his fellow Jewish believers who have taken a position of boasting, as it were, of spiritual pride in their ethnic identity and their religious practice. Paul points out that the very Torah that you're so boastful about with respect to the Gentiles is in fact the very Torah that will judge you as a sinner. On the other hand, if a Gentile, and I am suggesting again here that at this point Paul's talking about Gentile believers, who are doing the deeds of Torah, walking in the revelation of Torah, if they do so, that will be indicative of their justification. The bottom line for Paul is this, that it is sin, it's the power of sin, the flesh is his technique.